What's up guys, it's Blacken, back with some more RA content. This time we have RAGL in review for Season 15 because the season is ending or is going to be close to ending when this first video comes out. I have so much to talk about and I'm not exactly sure where to talk about, but I guess I should talk about this is Game 1 against Fazzar, who was my first opponent for this season. I must have pissed Triple T off in the offseason or something because my schedule started out with like the hardest players to play against and then kind of ended the season on an easier note. So yeah, first game I haven't played in 2 months and it's against Fazzar. That's never a great sign. Cav was still in Masters. I had to play him in like week 3, I think. Happy was week 2, so that's right, Happy is back in Masters. He's always a strong opponent and he's not exactly the person I want to play when I'm rusty either. Unfortunately no Kriya this season. Kriya was here for this game and he has kind of been around but did not sign up again, so that's a little unfortunate. Would like to see Kriya in Masters again just to see with like Fazzar and Happy and myself in there if like there could be a really race for the 4th place. This season we still had Ups, Anju, and Yeno in Masters, so you know they're always there to steal a game. Tux and Mo were also there, and Tux, you know, Mo can also completely change the lineup too if they manage to win off somebody. Milkman had his first appearance in Masters, so congratulations to him. He probably is going to have a little bit of a rough season going against the stiff competition there. And then we also had Bane and Moods show up. Whether or not Banes and Moods played the whole season, you'll have to stay tuned to find out, because they are known to forfeit, but they were there too, and both those players are definitely pretty skillful in their own right, able to win, I think, against anyone. Even Cav could fall victim to Bane and Moods if he's not careful. So definitely a very interesting season, and unfortunately just I've talked to Trip T about this a little bit, but playing in like the playoffs and just, you know, having some sort of admin duties in the back like Trip T does almost makes RAGL games feel like one continuous yearly event rather than like separate seasons. Played Cav in the finals on the 11th of August or something like that, and then less than 2 months later the new season was starting, so it's like once you start and you finish and you get to RAGL in the playoffs and everything, and it's just like suddenly the new season's upon you. So it's time consuming, and it's like surprisingly time consuming. It really shouldn't be, but so yeah, unfortunately I am super rusty. I had not played a single game come into this Fazzar series. I in fact like didn't even get to play like the first week. I had to delay my first 3 games, and like was basically either I play a bunch of games in like 2 hours or I have to forfeit the season because due to the new striking or the new delay system, that's pretty much how it would have been. So I basically rushed home, messaged everybody in Masters, says, all right, I'm here, let's have our games, and jumped into a game. So no warm up for anything for me, just completely rusty, and against Fazzar is not the greatest thing, but you know, it's alright. So we're here at game 1. We're on, God, what map is this called again? It's the Stitch map. I cannot think of the name off the top of my head, unfortunately. I'll have to maybe add it in later with a title or something, but we're trying to poke here on Cav. Fazzar's not Cav. Fazzar's Harvester, but he's going to be on top of that, obviously. Pulls the Harvester away. Try to poke and see if I can kill a ref, but no, he's already got his army there and a pillbox, so I just try to back away as fast as I can. I think he's definitely safely got 3 of the 2 ult Erics, and I'm going to try in the middle, and of course as soon as I do that, I see that he's chasing me, and he's got so much army. In fact, that is like way too much army. I'm not sure if it's just my rusty build and I'm way behind like that, or, you know, I did lose a significant amount of my early rifles up in the top in the early part of the film, so yeah, that's not great. He kills my engineer to boot too, so I'm basically down to a ranger and 3 rifles or rockets at minute 4. That's never a good sign. And I do have like a new build that I didn't really practice per se. It was more like I kind of worked the math out and said, oh yeah, this will work, and you know, thought it'd be a decent like build to try. But you know, trying new builds when you're rusty is not the greatest thing. So I do have a war factory or a medium tank out kind of early, and I'm skipping the MCV. I kind of like to do that too. That's different than the build I'm talking about. That's like just like a tank first build really with a early MCV move out. The build I'm talking about, I'm going to call it the quick tank, because build orders are somewhat vague and like nonsensical, and quick tank just seems like the best idea, and it's a build that only I've done, so But we'll talk about that later coming up in this video. I try to move out here because I do see that Fazzar has a lot, and I'm thinking, you know, if I can get these tanks in front and just chip away at this, then maybe I can come back. But no, Fazzar has a huge army there. He definitely went 3 ref with an MCV move out, and I just go ahead and GG out. I'm not winning that game at all. Like, you can see the score difference there, 87-29. Like, there was nothing going right for me that game. And that's gonna be very common because, like I said, I was super rusty and I played 10 games in one day. And you know, starting off with Fazzar is a little rough, but that's okay. We'll jump into game 2. So we're back here in game 2. Fazzar is going to pick Timian. I'm okay with that. As somebody who's super rusty, Timian's like an old map, so I'm very aware of it. That makes me feel a little bit more comfortable playing on it. You know, if it was like a brand new map, which like the last one kind of was. Not the greatest to start on, but I'm pretty sure I just randomly picked that map and that came up. So I said, okay, sure, I'll go for it. You know, at this skill level, a new map shouldn't surprise you too much. It's just more of the little nuances that you might know. For Timian, for example, like moving out instantly after you expand towards that single mine in the middle is like a very good move. If you don't do that, like, you can be behind. But it is what it is. Is that really going to change the game? Maybe. You know, it can swing it a little bit, but it's not going to decide the game necessarily unless like you throw a whole army. But I got allies again. I feel like I randomly into allies a lot this season, but that's fine. I'm just placing my bricks towards the back just to get that back oil line older a little bit quicker, get like an extra $200 or something like that from capturing it quicker. Fazzar's not exactly known to like push really hard on your oil derricks. He's more of like try to snipe the engineer, and what he really likes to do is just run his ranger around and decap your oils, like not like after expansion, like right as your expansion's coming out, right when your attention's a little bit divided. So I was fairly confident in my ability just to secure both my oil derricks with a little bit less ideal placement towards the middle with my barracks there. Not doing anything crazy, just gonna do the double ref build. Not gonna do the quick tank build order that I'm talking about. I'm rather, especially on like a map with Timian like this, I think just going tank first and then moving out your main MCV just a little bit is probably a little bit better. I mean, there's a lot of starting ore on Timian, and you can't really do it like a double ref cell just because of how spread out it is. So you don't really need that double ref cell to make the quick tank work, or even just a tank first build. But you know, a 6 seconds sooner is like almost a quarter of a heavy or medium tank, so it does matter there. I think it's like 27 seconds for a heavy tank, so 6 seconds would be a little more than a fifth, I think. I'm not great at math, especially off the cuff of my sleeve, whatever. Words are hard, as you can tell too. I'm not great at speaking. But anyway, so we're just on here. I killed a few of his rifles, getting my rockets out. I think I set my engineer up to like the top half of the map. That's very common in this map. And then I'm just trying to micro my harvs. I'm basically using this game as just my warm-up. I'm not really expecting to win this game. I mean, it's great if I can split with Fazzar, but after that first one, I think if Fazzar really wanted to, he could just push me aggressively and I'd probably lose again. But trying to do a little fancy target fire up there. Always try to do that. Saves your rifles when you can. Not sure if I got that guy or not. But other than that, I'm just gonna honestly play a little bit more passive in the beginning. You know, if I see an advantage, then my aggressive nature will try to push it. But from what I've heard, Fazzar kind of switched up his gameplay a little bit in the offseason. He went from being super aggressive, like he was in the last series and everything, to much more of like a passive, I'll let you attack into me and beat you that way. So I had heard a little bit of that, and I kind of expected that to happen. Whether or not that actually does happen, it's something I'll have to see. But that was definitely the motif going in. Looks like we have a little bit of lag too. I am the admin, so I'm pretty sure I'll start kicking people if they don't leave in a second. But looks like somebody's lagging. It's not Yara, it is BD. Of course, it's BD. And then bye bye BD. Looks like we also lost Night New, which he had a pretty interesting season of minions. If you've been watching the shotcast, you saw that a lot. But I won't spoil it in case you haven't seen it. But he had some interesting games and some interesting moments that led to a pretty interesting outcome. So got my 4th harvester out, I think, and I should have one more coming just in time. Nope, looks like that was my 5th one. And I just got the double light vehicle build since built 2 racks. Again, that's honestly, I prefer it unless it's a map that really requires you to go with a quick expansion. I like the Devil Vehicle variant a little better. One, getting out that extra racks a little bit quicker gets you that much more eco or macro on your infantry queue. Same time, moving out the main MC, just like I said it would. I'm not going to build it too far, just probably next to that debris in that little rock and cliff area next to the road, and that'll give me enough reach to get there. I can just build like a power plant, 2 raxes, and then a refinery, and that'll get me up to a nice 4 racks, which is pretty much the minimum you ever want. And then if I really wanted to, I could go into a double war factory build, a quick tech build, or I could just, you know, racks up and get to that max rack count. Also trying to use my ranger to kill off of Fazzar's rifle scouts, because I know he likes to use those. If I can keep him in the dark, that will be good. Maybe I can catch him transitioning it in a bad movement or something like that. Also saw that, pretty sure he killed a scout on my bottom, so I'm double checking, make sure he's not there. I know he does like to decap those oil derricks, so there's a good chance his ranger's sitting there. But I also think my rocket in the middle probably shot a piece at it and missed it, so just really skipping that second MC for a while now. I really just don't need it, since my MC is already expanded there. You know, basically once that ore starts to dry up, that's maybe when I want an MCV, or if I've taken a good engagement and I want to claim land, that's another time to try to build it. But pulling that harvester off a little bit early, probably needed to wait just a little more, and I pulled the second one off, and that's probably gonna be okay because I got a 3k float, but my ref's not gonna be ready for another 20 seconds, so those harvesters are gonna probably try to go back, and if I'm not on top of it, which when you're rusty, that's kind of a skill you lose. You lose a lot of like your forming concaves, like your timing gets bad, your build orders can definitely suffer if you're not careful. And as you can see, I'm already losing 1 harvester, and I'm still not got that ref. Somehow, I'm not sure what happened to the third one, why it went up there. Maybe I selected and I missed it, but yeah, I have to send it back down because I don't want an empty mine growing. I probably honestly could have left it up there, but 4 harvesters on a single ref is always a bad idea. I'm going in here, I'm just trying to poke at Fazzar a little bit, and I see, you know, like, I have a decent angle right here. I think he's got a little bit concave, but I have a lot more density in my infantry, I think, but unfortunately, I killed the wrong tanks, and he's getting a pretty good, like, surround there. I'm trying to get another tank in, but he's getting another tank in, and I'm losing all my mass. Not the greatest engagement on my part. He played that pretty well, and again, that was kind of Fazzar being more passive, letting you attack him and make a mistake, so, you know, he's definitely capitalizing on that. And I probably should just be retreating all the way back, but I'm trying to not lose too much ground. But unfortunately, Fazzar senses that, and now he pushes in, and I'm just going to lose pretty much all my assets again. And he still has his ranger alive, so he's really well aware of where I was. So I just go ahead and quit. Did not mean to just leave the game. I meant to surrender, but clicked the wrong button. Sometimes it happens. So Fazzar sweep me 2-0. Kind of disappointing show there, but again, I'm going to rely on that excuse that I was super rusty. And sometimes that's how it be. I'll have to hope that I see him at the end of the season if I make playoffs or not. But every loss that I have really is going to matter this season, with the likes of like Bane and Moods and Ups and Anju and Nano, because it's always Nano. And then, you know, Happy, Fazzar, and Cav are probably going to be 1 through 3, so I'll be fighting for that 4th spot. But yeah, losing 2-0 there kind of hurts my chances just a little bit more, but we'll jump into game 3. Alright, so we're back here for game 3. My second opponent, of course, was Happy, because again, Trip T did not like me or something, so playing 2 of the top 3 players always sucks. If I lose 2 out of Happy, you know, that is definitely really gonna suck. That might actually, you know, cause a problem later on in the season, especially if I lost to like Nano once, or Ups once, or Andrew once, like that. That'll really put my damper on there, but that's alright. I did get allies this draw. Seemed to, like I said, I got them a lot on random, I don't know why, but this map was like kind of like the map that I did test that quick tank build on. So I mean, there's really not much to do in this early game, and that's kind of why I did it, because the advantage of this quick tank build is, one, obviously you're going to have a quicker tank than you can really get on most maps, but also, like, it's really tight on the eco. You're only building 4 harvesters, or you're going to only have 4 harvesters total, so, you know, a little slight disruption or, you know, mismanaging your eco is actually going to hurt you in the long run. And since there's not much else to really do on this map in the early game, it makes it really easy to stay on top of your eco and stuff like that. If this is like a bigger map where there's multiple oil derricks, you know, you're moving across, it's easier to forget that you have to be on top of your build queue, or you know, get sidetracked with some micro of your rifles and stuff like that. So not going to do too much in this early game, just kind of pull back, send a one ref scout out, you know, just to make sure Happy's not doing anything crazy. I don't expect him to do anything crazy. He's more of a very traditional double ref build guy, but you know, just it's always better to have some information about your opponent than none. And then I'm just gonna build a war factory, and then I'm gonna sell that second ref so I can get that war factory out a little bit quicker. Then a power plant, and then ref, and then after that third ref, I'm gonna go straight into an SD rather than a barracks or yeah. Also, this is where I found out since the new engine changed that you can't cancel attack move anymore, which kind of sucks. So you can see I kind of had some rally problems there since I tried to cancel and I couldn't. And then you have to switch off it. It's kind of annoying with like Tawny and C4, but like it's just something you can get used to. And it was definitely a new change after not having played in, like I said, 2 months. Happy's got a great scout there, and once again try to do that fancy force fire micro. That's like a very simple thing. It's really gonna help you win those like little one-on-one engagements. As you can see here, waiting for that ref or that harvester to drop off, selling the ref, and then because of this quick tank build, you can build an extra light tank, so you can have 2 light tanks and 1 ranger, which is actually really convenient for harassing. And then I'm gonna go right into that ref and that 1 harvester, and then an SD afterwards, and that'll get me out like at least 45 seconds quicker on a tank. And then, you know, 45 seconds is about 2-ish medium tanks, so that's a 2 tank count advantage I'll have, which is quite significant, honestly. Another thing about this build is, you know, it's going to be 10 seconds-ish for that ref to come out, so I want to send that harvester a little bit further, just so it collects twice, and then I'll have it like basically ready right as the ref's about to pop out, which boom, send it to home, and that's good. Did notice that he killed my engineer scout on the bottom, and he's doing a really smart thing here. He's trying to get some eyes on me and see what I'm doing, but unfortunately all he sees is basically a standard double ref build, and my light tank chases away. Had he seen 2 light tanks and a ranger, that would probably cue him off to something weird's going on. Now that I got my 4 harvester out, I can start that infantry queue, and again, since this like build is so tight on eco, like I'm like barely gonna scrape by. Have to move that MCV out again, and like you can already see that my float it's quickly dying even with just 4 harvesters, and I'm only building from 2 things right now. So poking with my 2 light tanks and a ranger, this isn't really gonna kill a harvester or anything. It might force him off. If I'm really lucky and he's got a really bad like angle, I can maybe go in for crushes and stuff like that, but you know, he's got a lot of infantry in the back, so I'm just gonna push it off. That's fine. First tank's already out, and then I'm just gonna snake walk with my barracks to get to the new ref, which again on this map it is super convenient because it is very close, which makes this build a little bit better on this map than it would on like a bigger map. But he's finally seen that I got 2 light tanks, but maybe he's thinking I went triple ref or something like that. I mean, more rockets is always gonna be better anyways against medium tanks, but medium tanks are just so much better at blocking than light tanks are, so I'm gonna go back up to the top there with my main army, just see if I can poke at a Harv again. Any chance I can slow down his eco is always gonna be good. And if I'm really lucky, I might be able to catch an MCV right here, which... Nope, there is an MCV, and I barely missed his ranger. That actually been a nice grab as to get it, but... not gonna get that MCV, I don't think, because I wasn't on top of it quite enough, but he's gonna be able to deploy, and that's gonna chase him on the light vehicles wave. At the same time, like I forced that harvester off the top, quickly killed the pillbox since he wasn't really able to micro it, and then I'm just gonna kill this ref. And you know, that's basically a harv down that he has to deal with right now. And you know, there's still light tanks on the field. I basically lost nothing up there on the top. In fact, I think the pillbox only shot the medium tank a few times. So he's definitely already on the back foot, and we're basically about equal. You know, he probably has the ref out on his expansion. He's down in the ref in his main base, whereas I'm just now about to get that ref off on my expansion. He probably has 1 more harv, but again, that's, you know, not super important. We're both comfortably equaling up. I did transfer a harvester a little early again. I'll pop just deal with it. It's going to cause me to stall, but I'm actually in a really decent position here, I think. About to lose 1 light tank from the top because it just got stuck behind the harvester, but that's alright. I have my main force kind of hitting his natural expansion, and I got a secondary force working on his outside expo. But yeah, 4 tanks versus 1 pillbox is a pretty good. He has a second pillbox, but unfortunately, like, I just have quite a number of mass there, and his medium tank goes down, 2 pillboxes down. I still have 1 medium tank left. Gotta get that harvester to the back and top. And yeah, he's gonna lose his MCV there for sure. Maybe his ref if he's not careful. I still have 2 media tanks somehow, so it's like he's really struggling to deal with this switch. That's how powerful it is. Go ahead and kill that ref because that's really gonna hurt his eco. And I still have the light vehicles on top really kind of poking and harassing me too. So I turn back and he's got 1 medium tank, but I have plenty of rockets, and it instantly goes down. His one other medium tank is kind of just on the wrong side. Loses all of his army there, and I have another attack hitting his harvester again. So Happy's he's in kind of a lot of trouble actually. This build pretty much went off flawlessly for me, so I'm pretty happy about that. I'm even maybe gonna kill a harvester with those light vehicles, but yeah, Happy at this rate, he's pretty much dead. He's got no expansion. He's pretty mined out. I mean, he's even getting camped. Loses a harvester as it tries to go back, and I'm killed as well there to boot. So yeah, he's pretty much the reverse of what happened with me and Fazzar, and Happy goes in GG's. So that was a kind of proof of concept that the build works, and I was happy about that. And I'm sure Happy was not so happy, but that's alright. We'll jump back into the next game. Alright, so we're back here for game 4. This will probably be the last one of this video, and we'll save the rest for the next week, but I have 6 more games that I played after this game, which was 10 games in a single day is quite a lot, especially back to back to back, but we did it. So waiting on Happy's pick this time. He picks cow level. I'm okay with cow level. It's not my favorite map. The harvest jumping off the gem mine bugs me, and that's like a quick way to get under my skin, I guess. But yeah, if I can win 2-0 against Happy here, that'll be some penance for losing 2-0 against Faz. That'd be a nice little pickup. That'd make me feel a little bit more comfortable about securing 4th or maybe even 3rd place at that rate if I manage to go Happy. Because one of us for sure is definitely going to be 3rd, and then depending on how Happy does the rest of the season would determine the next one. So drew Soviets this time. That's not a problem. Soviets are kind of worse than allies. They are and they aren't. But they're just a little bit tougher to play, a little bit more unforgiving. You lose a medium tank as a allies player, and you can kind of deal with it. You lose your first heavy tank as a Soviets player, and it's just like feels you're constantly down 2 to 3 tanks afterwards. So you got to be a little bit more passive with them, unless you're doing like a Tesla Rush build or some crazy build like that, or Grenadiers also can get you that little edge too. Yeah, you can't be reckless with Soviets the same way you can with allies, and that's not even mentioning like the mechanics that can recover husk and stuff like that. So I'm being a little cheeky here, just running out some 4 Grenadiers, see if I can catch Happy moving way too much infantry, which is possible on this map. A lot of people want to go and get those oil derricks. If you pick wrongly and chose the same oil derrick your opponent went to, if he establishes defender's advantage first, then you might just lose a bunch of army, try to get that oil derrick, and that's never a good sign. But unfortunately, Happy finds one of my Grenadiers, and I get forced back with my other one. That usually should cue you off that I'm doing Grenadiers, so just keep a few rifles around your power plants, maybe 1 or 2 around your oil derricks, and that should keep you safe. But I'm going to the top left, and I see that Happy has a rifle there. That probably should cue me up, maybe that he's going that way, but I just decided to go with it. I think that's more my natural side anyways. Even though there is roads, what makes it more his. Well, I don't know, what to see. I'll take my chances. Sometimes it's always a gamble. I think my Grens might have forced him to be a little bit more cautious too, so run in with 3 rifle scouts, didn't see anything there, so I'm probably okay. We'll see how like a single rifle on the other side, and my engineer ran face first into it, but that did not happen this time, so it's fine. Gonna get that oil derrick just fine, and then 2 oil derricks is always nice. Unfortunately, I am set up to do the double ref build and then a ref cell on this map, which is not great. You kind of need your 3rd ref, so you can't afford to sell one. And I'm about to find that out in 5 seconds when I place down this war factory that I've already kind of screwed up. Happy shit-talking in the middle of the game. He asked if I'm doing something stupid, and the correct answer is I am, and it's just because I messed up my build order, and instead of selling the racks like somebody should in the situation where you've kind of fucked up, I sold my ref, which is the wrong thing to do. So that's a pro tip. If you're doing this on this map like I did, and you build a war factory before your 2nd power plant, just sell your racks. That'll push you back into high power, and that will not cost you having to build a 4th ref now, because I fucked up my build order that bad. Yeah, just sell the racks. It's 12 seconds, a ref is 34 seconds, you can fit basically 3 Raxes for that, so don't do what I did, kids. That's my advice to you. But because I fucked that up, I'm just gonna go into like a heavier APC build, see if I can actually get a rocket drop on him too. That might buy me some time to get me back in this game, but just screwing up like I did like there, it's never a good sign. And again, rust does factor in with that, since I've only played 2 games before this, with those against Fazzar. But I am just going to try to max APC. If I can get some really good crushes, you know, that's a great way to get back in the game. But I'm definitely in like a weird spot. Only got 1 Rax, and I'm building SD, so it's definitely going to be a weird game. If I can maybe catch an MCV or something like that too, that'd be good. But we'll have to see. Get the SD down, cool. And then I'm not even building an MCV. I'm just gonna place that 3rd ref on that gem mine and then move out the main MCV, just because it is pretty short, you know, and I don't really need the extra ore necessarily, since I do have the 4 starting gem mine, or the 3 ore mine and 1 gem mine. But I really just need to start macroing up my Raxes. That's like the big thing. Having 1 Rax at 4 minutes is kind of bad. Happy's probably sitting at least 3, maybe 4 if he went for a double light vehicle build. But I dropped my rockets off too, just to see if I can scout in first. Didn't see anything, so I pushed him in. That's everything. But he's on top of his harv, so he pulls it back. See if I can kill a ref, and see a bunch of rifles right next to his war factory. So I'm like, yeah, I'll go and crush that. That's fine. I'm not sure if I traded efficiently there. It's 1200 for the APC, or 1200 for the rockets, 850 for the APC, but I feel like I crushed quite a bit. I don't know how much of it was rockets, but I was okay with that trade, I guess. I didn't kill the harvester or the ref or anything, but, you know, I did kill a bunch of his army, which I did need. Moved out my main MC, I got 2 heavy tanks, so that is nice too. Heavy tanks are a lot more armored than medium tanks, so, you know, if I can keep those alive and kill a few of his tanks, that's a great way to get back. And I really need to start getting those Raxes out, but I've only got 3 queued up, and I'm at 5 minutes now, so pretty sure Happy is just naturally overtaking me with the macro there. Even with all the crushes I just had, I'd have to look at the army graph, but I'm pretty sure he's way ahead of there. Also, see, he's camping my bottom a little bit, which is unfortunate. I do have some tanks coming, and my flame tower is unfortunately not ready yet, but there's not a whole lot of presence there. He pulls back. Unfortunately, my left side is conga lining right into him, and heavy tanks are so goddamn slow. All of my infantry is pretty much dead by the time the heavy tank gets there, so try to focus out that light tank. Unfortunately, the heavy tank dies first, but I'm maybe going to get that medium tank as a nice little bonus there. But that was unfortunate, and then Happy is going in here trying to cap my SD. Still a power plant, or not a power plant, still my Rax, which is unfortunate too because I really need that Rax. I'm down to 1 Rax again at 6 minutes, so yikes. Forgot about those 2 APCs for a while too. Happy is kind of doing what I did on last game, and he's pulling me apart. You know, I'm still gonna make the excuse that some of it's the rust, but he's honestly playing really well too. So got my 2nd Rax again, yay, at 620, and for some reason I can't remember why, but I knew there was an army up top, I think I had a scout there or something. But once again, those heavy tanks are all in the back, and so that entire army is pretty much dead. Gonna try to run in for some crushes with the heavy tanks, because that's pretty much all I can do at that rate, but I get 4, but lose 2 heavy tanks, that's definitely not worth it. Yeah, I'm in bad straits now. I have 1 Rax, or maybe 2 Raxes. There we go, there's 3. I have plenty of eco, so I got that going for me, which is nice, but Happy definitely has a huge army of Ventures this rate. I'm going to try to defend the bottom, since that's the only place where my MCV is, and just hopefully that I killed enough at the top, or maybe Happy gets scared and doesn't roll back. Do catch a lot of his rifles and rockets on the left side with my APCs, so that was nice, but yeah, 2 medium tanks and a handful of infantry up there is not great. Yeah, that heavy tank, I'm not even going to last long. I try to micro out the rocket soldier with the APCs, but 1 APC's down, lose a harvester, 2nd APC can't handle that, and it gets pushed back. And then at the same time, while I was distracted, Happy just pushed in and killed both my harvesters down there, so yeah, that game was over. Definitely screwed myself with my board order fail, and then Happy just pulled me apart, because Happy is not going to let you come back after making a mistake like that. So well played to him. So that's probably where I'll end it for this first video. We'll have probably 6 more matches next week, since I ended up playing 10 all in one day. But stay tuned, more to come.